welcome to That Happens, the only macaroni painting in podcast form. I am your host, Spencer Crittenden, and joined with me, as always, is the host of the Callie Kazoo Show. Is that right, Kevin?
I am taking over Callie's show today. Yes, I am. Yeah. So if you're watching this live, check in a little bit later today because me and Callie are swapping roles and I'm interviewing her.
We got to do that. We got to do that sometime for us, just so I don't have to do as much work. I do no work. But we also have another exciting person. More exciting than Kevin, you say? Yeah, unfortunately. I hate to break it to Kevin in the audience, but we do have someone more important, someone who I am now just realizing I should have asked how they wanted to be introed because...
However you want to intro me. You take it away. Follow your heart.
All right. Okay. So we got a real corker of a guest for you today. He is the mastermind and on-face persona, on-screen persona of Tolarian Community College. He is the holder of several, I assume, Magic the Gathering related doctorate degrees or various teaching degrees. I don't know. Owner of luxurious and glorious suits, vests, and hair. We got the professor in the house. Can I call you Brian?
You can call me Brian. Absolutely.
Awesome. We got Brian in the house, or the Professor Brian. I don't think that one flies. But what's up? How's it going? How you doing?
It's going great. I review cardboard and cardboard accessories for a living, and I'm apparently more interesting than Kevin. That's very exciting to know. But yes, I'm in the cardboard review business.
Yeah, I gotta say that Kevin is actually pretty interesting. He's the most interesting man in the world, and that makes you more interesting than the most interesting man in the world.
That's not how most works, but yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's interesting.
The English teacher, I was previously an English teacher, so I had to point that out.
No, but that's just how mysterious and interesting Kevin is. It turns out to be the case when he's at play. It's kind of like using imaginary numbers in math. Various rules kind of go out, but also imaginary numbers are fake. But what's not fake is your YouTube channel. Oh boy. So I wanted to, I wanted to start this off with something really dry. I'm talking about cornbread. How do you feel about cornbread?
I like it with honey and butter, but not just one or the other. I must have a buttered cornbread with then honey drizzled on top of it.
Yeah, I like cornbread. I don't need either of those things, I will say. But something I've learned recently is that there's actually kind of two kinds of cornbread. When you talk about cornbread, people tend to get either one or the other into their head. And one is, I'd say it's cakier, it's moist, it's generally a lot sweeter, and is what I think of as cornbread. And then there's the other kind of cornbread, which is generally relatively dry, almost completely unsweet, and maybe a little denser. And so which is the cornbread in your head when you picture cornbread?
I think I'm going to say the first.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe you've just been sometimes burning it. It sounds like perhaps there is just one type of cornbread, but you leave it in the oven too long occasionally, and you're like, oh, this is the other type.
No, that's not true. And there's also a third type of cornbread, which is really, really wet in the middle, and some would say uncooked. And of course, there's one where you accidentally use salt instead of sugar.
There's one that's just batter. There's one that's just batter.
Yeah, exactly. No, but so this tells me that I don't think you have like what do you call it? A strong presence in the South, because my understanding is this less sweet, drier one is more of a Southern take that people understand it to be. Is that true? Are you Southern and insulted?
I am from Los Angeles originally, born and raised, and moved out the day I turned 18 and never returned.
Oh, wow. So it had that effect on you.
Yeah. I know. Real dull shock to anyone currently living in LA, but I did not like growing up there, and I got the hell out of there. And boy, I just kept going north, and now I am in lovely Portland, Oregon. For a while it was San Francisco, and give me a couple of years, I'll be up in Canada. I'm just keep heading further and further away from LA.
Wow, yeah, that's funny. It's funny to imagine that you just keep going, and then eventually you're like on this a giant ship or some sort of oil derrick, and eventually you're in like the Arctic Circle. You're just like, get me away from here.
Those are my golden years.
But so the thing is, there is times in LA that are seen as like bad times. Right now, I think of LA as kind of like, it's just so expensive. Everything is not good. Were you living in the times that were like the rough times of LA, or were you just like LA sucks and not because of the time?
Well, I was growing up there, so keep in mind my perspective is that of a kid growing up in Los Angeles in the San Fernando Valley, which I've been told that my old neighborhood is now trendy, but 40 plus years ago, it was a dump that other kids made fun of you for being from. I grew up in North Hollywood, and now people are like, oh yeah, NoHo, and I'm like, no. We did not. NoHo is a no-go for me, bro. We did not ever call it that. We called it, oh yeah, no, I'm sorry that's where you have to go to visit me. It was like the lowest of lower middle class, just hanging on by its teeth in those days. I have not been back in a long time. And I remember LA as being smog and concrete and gangs and drugs and gun violence, where like I was in second grade and they were like, these are the colors you can't wear in our neighborhood, because they were all scared of drive-bys, and they're like, these are the wrong colors, they're of the enemy gang or something, so we don't want kids on the playground in these colors. And I was like, I need to get out of here, and so I did. I hated LA. I hated it. It was not my jam.
Yeah, I gotta imagine that has an impact on a kid to say like, hey, you gotta wear not these colors, wouldn't want you to get shot. You know, that doesn't seem fun. So that does imply that, yeah, you were there in kind of the harder times, the not good times of LA. So that's interesting. I think more recently, NoHo has been like super cheap and kind of sketchy, but then, yeah, it's been pseudo gentrified. It's still relatively sketchy. I mean, the thing is, the kind of farther, what do you call it? Is it east? No, west. The farther west you go through San Fernando Valley, like for a while it gets kind of weirder, and then it gets kind of more gentrified after that. But yeah, I go there. There's a lot of fleas there. I often, and this is like not a bag on the city, but I've been to like NoHo at various points and then come back, and then I've had fleas. And it's a problem.
How is that not a bag on the city? Like, in what way is that ever a positive?
Well, I got to believe that this was certain areas of the city. I think there's probably a good 80-90% of the city where you wouldn't get fleas. And then I got to imagine there's also pockets of other places, LA proper, Burbank, etc., where there might be fleas. I'm not sure. But yeah, I mean, I go to NoHo a lot, and a lot of times I don't get fleas. So, you don't
actually call it NoHo, right? You don't actually call it that. That's so weird to me. You do really call it NoHo, or do you say North Hollywood? We never called it NoHo. But that was, I want to say I do call it North Hollywood. I want to say that. But when I'm getting fleas, I'm like, NoHo. This is some NoHo shit right here. That's the NoHo. Uh-oh. Yeah.
Yeah. NoHo. Oh, no. That's I had that in the pocket from earlier.
Yeah.
But yeah. So going up to San Francisco, Rice-A-Roni is a San Francisco treat. How do you feel about Rice-A-Roni?
I have never had Rice-A-Roni as knowingly. If I've had Rice-A-Roni, it has been unknowingly.
Oh my God.
So yeah, no. But San Francisco is where I went to undergrad. I got out of LA, took that Greyhound, and good old San Francisco State at night while working full time during the day.
Undergrad, huh? I think undergrads would really like Rice-A-Roni. It's good. I've been eating a lot of Rice-A-Roni lately, if you can't tell. It comes in a lot of flavors, but some of them are pretty bad and some of them are good. I think the fried rice is one of the best flavors. Try it out. I think your family will love it.
I have a job now. I don't need to I remember the ramen days of living in that residential motel room, and I had all the ramen, not the top ramen, that's the fancy ramen, just
You got
ramen.
bottom shelf ramen.
It's like there's like 10-cent ramen and 50-cent ramen, and we went for that 10-cent ramen.
But do you eat rice as a family ever? Like,
Yeah, but it's not
steak and rice.
It's the Aroni. I don't like we make rice like normally.
Yeah,
like
right.
we don't have any Aroni in it.
Well, that's the thing is anytime you would have rice, you could swap that out for Rice-A-Roni, and it's a San Francisco treat.
My wife is a native, born and raised San Franciscan, so I'm sure she would appreciate me respecting her cultural heritage by bringing home some Rice-A-Roni. She would probably think I had lost my goddamn mind if I came home tonight and just like, honey, look what I got. It's Rice-A-Roni for you. I don't think that's a thing they eat there.
I don't know either. And honestly, they say it's the San Francisco treat. I'm starting to think it was in a movie. I don't know what movie. I want to say it was Flight of the Navigator. But it was, but man, it stuck with me. When I was a kid, I watched that movie and I was like, it's a San Francisco treat. And then like later I got it and I was like, it's the stuff for the movie. This is the best. But I really do I like a lot of garbage. I like Spam. You like Spam?
I do not like Spam. I do not. I've had it like once and I was like, nope. I don't like Spam. I'm sorry. Now I'm starting to sound like a real snob or something because I don't like Spam and Rice-A-Roni.
You don't like Spam. You don't like Rice-A-Roni. You don't like fleas. What's wrong with you?
Yeah, I know. West Coast elitist.
So undergraduate degree. What was it like going to school in San Francisco? Like San Francisco was a pretty interesting place. I don't know, when we do shows, we're kind of like near the Bank District or something. So like, I don't really see the more interesting part unless we really strike out, go to like the harbor or whatever the hell.
Well, I was in the residential motel district where there were like syringes and cracked vials on the sidewalk every morning. And so San Francisco is a wonderful city if you have a lot of money, which as a starving college student eating ramen out of necessity, I did not. So I lived in a residential motel room. I worked a day job answering phones, which was just barely enough to pay for the residential motel room. And then I would take the bus down to State and take usually night classes. Sometimes I would have a schedule where like it was tough. Like I sometimes had a day or two during the week that I would have classes during. And undergrad was hard. It was a expanding period creatively and mentally and socially for me, but it wasn't easy, being that hungry. So like one of the things when I started dating then my now wife was she was still living with her parents and there was home cooked meals and I was just over there getting fed and that was glorious.
Yeah, I love to be fed. I kind of know what you mean. My parents kind of stopped. Well, my mom, it was like my dad never cooked, but my mom kind of stopped cooking at some point. I want to say I was like around 15 or 16 and she didn't really cook dinner so much. And so I would hang out all the time with my friend Colin and, his parents were great and his mom loved to cook. And so, man, we got to eat so much good food at Colin's house. Like I like my mom's cooking. I never had a problem with it. I was never like, oh, my mom can't cook or whatever. It was all good stuff. But then at like Colin's house getting food and stuff, I was like, oh man, like there's a whole nother level to like cooking that you can unlock, that some people are capable of. That it was pretty great. I just loved hanging out at Colin's house. I was a member of the family, they told me. Seemed like a lie, but hey, you'll accept anything when you're a kid. But as an undergrad, Rice-A-Roni would have been perfect for you. I think it's better than ramen, I'll tell you that. Well, I don't know, maybe, yeah.
I'll remember that for the next go around.
So, okay. So
the next playthrough.
Now, new game plus, so to speak.
Yeah.
Man, If you had New Game Plus, if you died and came back as a baby, and like in New Game Plus, you kept all your levels and you kept all your party members and you kept all your inventory, what's like the most important inventory item you think you'd want to carry over?
My money, like the fact that I like, do I get to take my accounts with me? Like I always hear, because in Magic, people are always lamenting, because like when I played in high school and it was like revised and edition, and people are always like, oh man, I wish if I could go back, I could just buy all this alpha beta packs, right, where they were like $1, you know, and or just buy all the Power 9. And whenever I hear people say that, I just think, so you're just saying you wish you had a lot of money, because you're not saying I wish I bought those to play with those cards. You're not like saying that so that you could play vintage. You're just saying that so that you would sell them and be rich. So you're just saying, I wish I were rich. So like for me, it's like if I went back, I'd freak out, because like my whole life was, given my origins and everything, is I was destined for, you know, the North Hollywood future, which wasn't bright. And I don't know if I could repeat the dumb luck that made me have a job on YouTube. So like that would be really tough to be like, okay, when do I need to make this video? And it was hard anyway. So I would just be like, oh God. So yeah, I mean, I have nightmares where I wake up and I'm back in high school or junior high. So, you know, and they are not pleasant, and there's nothing weird going on in them either. It's not like I'm back in high school and there's monsters. It's just, your life was a dream and you've woken up and it's 10th grade again, and good luck. You're going through your day, and that is a nightmare I wake up from in a cold sweat. So yeah, I would not want that. That's my way of saying, you say like if you died and then you get to go back and keep it all, I'd be like, can I just pick the die option? Is there a scenario there where I'm just dead then? Because I don't.
Game over.
Game over. I'm done. I did it. I got out. I don't want to go back. It's like, did you ever read the Deathgate saga? And they go all the way back to the center of the labyrinth, and it's like, oh my God, I'm all the way back at the start of the labyrinth. I don't want that. I just got out.
Yeah. So, okay. I have a few thoughts, but the first one I think is real quick. But, so when you were talking about people saying that they wish they bought all those packs back then, was that when you were playing revised, or was that more in the future?
No, that's now. People now look at the Power 9 and it's like, how expensive is a Black Lotus or a Mox Emerald? And they're like, oh man, back when 1996, 1990, whatever, like, oh, I could have just bought so many with $1,000, would have bought so many of them, and it'd be $1 million now. And it's just like, so you're just saying you wish you had money. It's just this weird, you know.
That's true, but the thing is, it's a very concrete path. It's not like I just like wish for better. It's like this is a decision tree that could have been taken. You know, people say the same thing with Bitcoin. Like I remember there was a time where Bitcoin was like $20. I definitely could have bought into Bitcoin, and my friends bought some. I don't know if they kept them or anything. But I had like a friend who was like not a hacker, but he was super techie, and he bought a couple. And I think he got rid of them pretty quick. But like at that time, I was like, I mean, you know, I just expected it to go down, but it could have gone up. And I think it's the same kind of thing where it's like, man, this was a decision. And I feel the same way, just because even when I was in high school, like Black Lotus was pretty expensive, but it was, you know, now it's insane. Like, I could have actually bought a Black Lotus, you know.
Yeah. I mean, when I was in when I played Magic, it was still like, they weren't cheap, but it was like, you know, $80 or something probably. So it's like, yeah, sure, I'll buy a bunch of them, and now it's quite a lot more.
Yeah, but Black Lotus is honestly, they probably I think it's easier to forecast Black Lotus is at least staying in value, whereas Bitcoin, it was like, what even is this? It's not going to do anything. Like you can't even spend it, you know. But okay, so the other thing I wanted to hit on is School dreams. I'm a dream interpreter. I don't know if you know this about me.
I didn't know that about you.
Yeah, I usually need to Google what the symbols mean most of the time, but I'm not bad at it. And school dreams, they can often just be regular stress dreams, but they're often associated with specific projects and creative projects, if I'm recalling correctly. So, as a YouTube careerist, it's very fitting that you would have dreams of like stressful dreams of being back in school because, that would mirror the stress of like a normal work life stress, for you.
Well, I've actually had dreams, and this is so embarrassing to admit. I've had dreams about things like posting a bad YouTube video. Just a few nights ago, actually, I literally had a dream where a video went up, and as I recall, in the dream, it was an episode of the gameplay show that you were on, and what it was in the dream, not your episode. I just meant it was a gameplay.
Well, you
show.
Never know.
Yeah. I'm not saying your episode's going to be a nightmare, but it's actually really good. Anyway, in the dream, I just remember that it was that we had left the credits were all weird. They were coming up wrong. They were like they were coming up slow, and then letters were drifting and
Whoa.
going up like in a column of just one letter at a time going up. And I looked at the playtime, and I'm like, oh my God, like this is supposed to be 30 seconds. The credits go up at the end, and I'm like, there's 10 minutes left in the runtime. And I was like, there's a mistake. And I was like, we didn't catch this mistake. And I was freaking out. And then I went and I looked at the analytics, and it was like, it said 10 out of 10, like no one's watching it. And I was just like, I remember just thinking like, well, this sucks. I was very upset and feeling like this thing that was not part of the episode, because it's just the credits. The episode was fine, and thinking like, wow, I ruined this episode by not checking the credits and the render or something. And that is one of at least 3 YouTube stress streams I can actually remember having. And there's probably a bunch I've forgotten, but I can remember at least 3 of them, and that's one of them. And that was literally 4 nights ago.
Wow. Yeah, I used to have dreams more like that, very literal and like mundane, if you will, as opposed to like magical and fantastic in various ways.
Yeah.
But they were always like things like I swear to God, man, like I would in the dream, I would open my wallet and there'd be $20 in there, and then I'd close it, and then like I wouldn't register it as a dream because I would just like be in my waking life and remember having $20 in my pocket and going to like spend money and not having money. And then I think harder, and it's like, that was definitely a dream last night. I did not ever in reality put money in my pocket or have money. Like, and it's weird because I don't know. I think when you're in the dream reality, you're still believing it, but I think the more fantastical it is, the easier it is to deal with, whereas the more literal and mundane it is, the more it's like, Jesus Christ. Like when I have bad dreams, a lot of times it's like a car gets damaged, like either I get in a car accident or someone hits my car, and then I'm like, God damn it, this is going to be like $1,000. And then it's just like 20 minutes of me going like, how am I going to get $1,000? And then I'm like, wait a second, something doesn't add up. And then I wake up immediately and I'm like, oh, thank God, I was fucked, man. This was not good. But yeah, so so you started in Revised. That was an interesting period in Magic history. What kind of player were you? What kind of games were you playing? Just casual and stuff? There wasn't really a big scene back then, right?
No. I never even did like it was only when I returned to Magic as an adult that they had also gotten more formal. I don't know. I have never really looked into. I don't believe they were even doing things not on any formal level, like at my local game store, like a pre-release event. There was a competitive scene, but it was, I think, small and very, very much worlds away from me. I just bought packs at my local game store, opened them, built decks, and played with other kids at recess and lunch. And one friend of mine that I taught to play and that we played with, we played together. And I got my first job. Ice Age was coming out, and I wanted to buy booster boxes, and so that inspired me to get my first summer job so that I could buy booster boxes of Magic. And then I sold everything when I graduated high school because I figured grown-ups don't play Magic, and that was a mistake on many levels. And yeah.
Did you have any like money cards, you think, back then?
Yeah. Well, I had all the dual lands, and by all I mean like I had a play set of all of them, and they were all just there was no buying singles at the card shop for me in high school. It was opening packs, maybe trading with some people, but for the most part, that's just how much Magic I bought. And I had them all. I got them all. Or maybe I might have, I'm not denying that possibly memory wise there might have been like, oh, I only had 3 Underground Seas or something, but what I mean is I mostly had them. I had the dual lands. I had that, and I sold them at the time that I graduated high school. I think like $10 each, and I was just like, man, that's a lot of money to get for Magic cards. I got like whatever that equates to, like $700 or so. I don't think I must not have gotten, if it's $10 each, I was an English major. So if it's 10 dual lands times 4 is 40. No, that is right. Cause I remember that like I got like $400, and my friend was so angry. He was like, you shouldn't be selling these cards. You're going to want them someday. And I said, well, I can't imagine ever playing this game as a thing. $400 was a lot for me being 18, and I had no financial support from my parents. And so that was this. And he said, you're going to want to, I remember he said, it's like a part of your life that's this box, and you're going to put it in the closet, but you're going to want to take it down out of the closet and open it up and return to it, if only to look at it and remember, is what he said to me. And I was like, no, give me the $400, and sold the rest of the collection. Wasn't really anything in it, but he saved his, and he's who got me back into Magic. He pulled it down out of his closet, and we were 30s, they're in our 30s, 33. And he said, remember this? And I was like, oh, wow. And went down, and I wanted to put some decks together, and I bought some cards, and the whole addiction started again.
That's awesome. So yeah, that's how you got back in. Most of my friends, not most of my friends, but most of the people I knew who got rid of their cards at some point regretted it for one reason or another. Like either, I think it was mostly they just kind of wanted an old deck or something. And so I just kind of made like a more or less a promise to myself. It was like, I'm just never going to sell these. Most of my cards aren't really worth that much. And it's not like I won't sell individual cards necessarily. I just don't really have interest in it. To me, it's just like a black hole. It's like they're just always going to go into this big box and get bigger and bigger forever. But I don't buy a lot of cards these days. I'm curious, do you remember back when you were playing in Revised and stuff, did you have any favorite cards that really stuck out to you, favorite decks, anything like that was like characterized kind of your style, your interest in Magic at the time?
Well, I mean, my favorite stuff was, in addition to, I just liked Lightning Bolt. I liked Giant Growth on War Mammoth with Trample. I had a deck back then where it was the Rack and Black Vice, and the deck's entire premise was just to cast them and let my opponent die and not know what to do. But then I finally felt I solved Magic. It was literally when I was ready to quit and sell my cards, was I had figured out that if you use a Nettling Imp to force an opponent's creature to attack, and then you have a Royal Assassin in play that can just tap to kill target creature, that there's absolutely no solution to that lock in my brain anyway. And having played against all of one opponent with it who could not figure out how you can win if I can just kill your creatures with a Royal Assassin Nettling Imp combo, I was like, well, I just solved this game, and there's no more worlds to be conquered. That's it. I did it. I remember how I really felt. This is it. There's no better deck than just get a Nettling Imp and a Royal Assassin in play. You've won.
Yeah, I think like for me, early decks that I remember, my brother had like a white weenie deck with Sarah Angel and a bunch of shadow guys, and it's pretty hard to compete with that unless you have like a bunch of removal or whatever.
Yeah.
But he would always beat it. Like back then, like some people would still play 40 card decks. I think like it was technically after like the 60 card minimum got established, but he would run a lot of like fast 40 card decks like that were tough to compete with. The first decks I really remember liking were similar. I mean, I think I had like one Black Vice or something, but Megrim decks or Megrim, the one that pings you 2 for discarding cards, was something that I was always really excited by, even though it just was never that effective as a deck. But you know, it's annoying to discard cards, and if you're taking damage for it, all the better. And then the other deck I had was just absolute jank. It was technically all colors, but it was basically just artifacts. It was every artifact that I owned, which was, you know, like less than 30 or something, you know, so it wasn't like a 70, 80 card deck. It was like a 60 card deck, but it was just all of my artifacts because I wanted to play Tika's Dragon. Are you familiar with Tika's Dragon?
I am not.
It was in Mirage. It was like a 9 mana 5/5 like flying trample rampage 4 or something. And so I was like, if I can just put an lure Lycid onto this thing and make it lose flying so everybody had to block it, then it can be like a 1919 and trample through. And it was the most convoluted combo because there was like a card called Walking Sponge that can make something lose a bunch of abilities. So I had to like hit it with the Walking Sponge and then like re-give it trample or something. I don't know. It was the most absurd thing, and it never worked. I could win with the deck, but just because I had one copy of Tolarian Academy and it was just that good that you could win with Tolarian Academy just generating mana, you know, without really doing anything of substance. But man, I love that deck, and yeah, I don't know. That's one of the few decks that I've lost like completely. I don't know where any of those cards went.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it's all good though. But so you started. You said like when you were around 33. What actually led you to start up the channel? Like, were you just super into it, and like what compels someone to do that?
Yeah, well, I was always a creative type. I was always a frustrated creative. Growing up in LA, my father was an aspiring actor, and he never achieved any success. He was a failed journeyman actor, I guess you could say. And I grew up seeing that, and I grew up pretty poor. My mother was a waitress, so we were just single income off of tips and stuff. And I remember feeling a lot of like, I mean, I went to college so that I would have a job, and I didn't want to be like my dad, which was like, you know, devoted to, you know, if I don't get a job he was like, if I don't get a job as an actor, I'm not working. Very convenient for him. So I did though have the creative, you know, like bug, because I grew up in that environment, and I would create things growing up a lot. I wanted to be a writer. I wrote my first novel when I was in like 11th grade, and I mean like a full novel, like proper word count and everything. I wanted to, you know, do that. And before that, when I was in second grade, I made a magazine about Nintendo games and got my friend to illustrate it. And I wanted to produce it and sell it and stuff. I was very, you know, much of that mindset. When I had a camcorder in junior high, I made films. I wanted to figure out how to get them, you know, shown and stuff. But as I got older and was more and more aware of like the artist's, you know, life of not being able to, you know, make money, and I wanted some kind of a job, and I did want to be a writer. And what my plan was that I could write, but I would go to college so that I could get a job in case the writing didn't sell. And I ended up with an English degree. And in graduate school, they put me in a teacher training program, and I really liked teaching. I really loved it, in fact, because I got to bring in all these novels that I loved and make people read them and then make them talk about them. And I loved that so much. I just absolutely was really. I just took to it, and so I became a college instructor. And I continued writing until a certain day where I just felt it's not working. I could never get anything published. I remember the day I was just down in my basement writing yet another attempt at a novel, and I'm just like, no one but my parents and my wife and one friend has ever read any of my writing. And I'm 31 years old or whatever. And I'm like, this is crazy. I want to go outside. I had a job. I've been working my job. I had a yard with sunlight, and I was just like, this is, I gave up. I was like, this is it. It didn't happen. And I went outside, and it wasn't until this all took off unexpectedly, because I just made a video. When I got back into Magic, I really got into the idea of because I had that regret over losing my cards instantly, selling my cards, deep regret. I wanted those cards back so badly, to have that piece of my childhood, of my youth, that was very important to me. It was a very special time in my life. And so as I now got cards, I was determined I will never sell any of these. I will never let any of these go. And I wanted them in perfect condition. So I was really into sleeves and double sleeving and cardboard protection. And I found that there were a lot of bad quality card sleeves and bad quality deck boxes, and good quality card sleeves and good quality deck boxes. And there was no source, like permanent source of that information. People would post on a message board, what are the best card sleeves? And other people would reply, but then that thread would be lost. And so I wanted to make a YouTube video that would be like the singular definitive source of, like, these are the major card sleeves at your game store. These are the good ones. These are the bad ones. And it was just a creative endeavor. I think I liked the idea of like you had to get like $100 in ad revenue before Google would cut you a check. And that's how much a booster box is. And I was like, you know what? If I get $100, I can take that to my game store, and where I'm friends with the owner, and be like, one booster box, please, Mike. It's on Google. And that was basically my goal. It was to make the singular video. And I did it as a creative outlet and hobby just then. And then afterwards, someone said, what about deck boxes? And I was like, oh yeah, I know about deck boxes. And I did that. And someone said, what about playmats? I said, playmats, that's ridiculous. Playmat's a playmat. Well, no, okay, a playmat isn't a playmat, and people don't necessarily know about how the proper cleaning and care of a playmat. I should do a video about playmats. And then I was like, well, I might as well do binders. And before I knew it, I was doing a video a week. And I got that $100. And then I was doing 2 videos a week. And then it was $200. And then I was soon doing 3 videos a week. And I was getting about as much from Google as I got paid by the community college to teach one class. And I was like, interesting. And it just kept growing from there.
Yeah, so it seems like you're doing a lot of accessory stuff. Did you kind of quickly run out of that and start moving to the actual game-related stuff? Or what was the leap to like actually talking about cards and stuff like that?
Well, I did that too early days. Like a very early video of mine was I really liked the modern format, and a lot of people felt that it was too expensive, and I wanted to get people playing it because I loved playing it. And so one of my like video number 3 or 4 was actually, here's a $50 Goblins modern deck. And it's like, look, you don't have to think modern is too expensive. It's a $50 deck. I did pack openings and stuff. The accessories is what I was most known for, and probably still am, even though that has died down dramatically. But I still do them, and I did some recently. But I used to be I was really thought of as the product review guy. And I think I still am, even though I have not done much of it recently. But I always did a giant swath of stuff. I did skits, comedy skits in the Magic world with people cosplaying as characters and all kinds of stuff. I loved all aspects of Magic, and it was very much reflected in my channel.
Yeah, it's interesting. I guess I feel like product reviews is like such a big sector of YouTube now. There's that guy, what's his name? The Crazy Russian Hacker or whatever, where a lot of things he's like, we're just trying trying 10 hot dog related gadgets or something.
Yeah.
Do you think that you were kind of new in the product review scene at the time, or because I don't know if it was that big back then, was it?
I mean, it's what really established my channel more than anything else. It's still, I mean, I still do product reviews, and then I review Magic products. And there isn't a lot of that. Like, there might be a big audience for hot dog reviews, but there aren't a lot of people reviewing card sleeves. And I feel like, you know, I just did a card sleeve review, and it got very good views, very, very good views. And I did a deck box review, and it got very good views. And every set, I mean, I was just actually in a video game store today, and one of the guys behind the counter recognized me, and he said, every new set, I watch your pre-con review first to know which one to buy. And that's what I do, is like looking at the review of the product, if they did a good job on it. I think that it's not something you see a lot of in Magic the Gathering. A lot of people in this space also don't want to burn bridges, and so like I unfortunately often feel everybody hates me, because like I have every company that makes supplies for Magic, I have at least failed one product by them, and that's all it takes. It's like I could give you 9 A's, but I give you that one fail, and then it's the stink eye at events for the most part. And definitely with, like, you know, I mean, Wizards of the Coast, I've failed plenty of their products and said don't buy this, and I think that there are people who do versions of that as well, but I don't think it's over impacted. I think it's few and far between, because once you do that, you're not going to get free playmats in the mail, and you're not going to get invited to Wizards events as much or at all and stuff. And I think that it discourages, because a lot of people come to it through a passion for the game, and they love the game, and so they don't want to, you know, like piss off people, which is fair. And I don't want to piss people off either. It's actually the thing that gives me a lot of stress and misery, is thinking that the people who make the game I love don't love me back. Is definitely, that's not a good feeling. That isn't true either, because it's made up of many individuals, and only some of them don't love me back, and others do. It depends on if I gave their product a bad review.
Sure.
It happens. I get it. It's like it's human nature. Someone once said to me, imagine there was someone whose YouTube channel was about reviewing your YouTube channel, and half the time they said they loved you, but the other half the time they said you were garbage. How would you feel about them? And it's like, okay, yeah, fair enough. So yeah.
Yeah. You know, but that's the cost of keeping it real, I guess. I mean, okay, so
and that's one thing we do at Tolarian Community College, is keep it real.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
There's nothing realer than a burnt bridge. No, it's true though. I mean, I don't know. I think that's admirable. You know, there's so much corporate pressure these days in all angles. Not to like shame anyone or whatever, but just in general, like it's changed the online space from back in the days where like no one was looking, so you didn't have to think about what you said because you're just some guy on the internet. You know, and now it's just way different. So it's I kind of wish for that sometimes, but I mean, you know, it's the legitimacy that makes all the big bucks go around, I assume, right? I don't know.
I don't know. I really see, I have a lot of solidarity with my fellow creators. If I don't know them, then it's a spiritual solidarity, but it's still there. And I don't ever like there are people who they literally will not say negative things in their videos, and I respect that. In fact, I think that's great. Like, you know, when I watch, I actually avoid a lot of movies that are depressing movies, because the world's very depressing, and I need escape that maybe isn't going to freak. You know, it's like, oh, cool, this movie's about a totalitarian government that has taken over, and everybody supports it, but our protagonist, but he can't win, and by the end, he's been crushed by the system, and it's like, wow. I don't need to see that. Thanks. That's called the news.
Exactly,
you know, I don't like to. This one's about an unjust war. Oh, really? Oh, wow. Oh, boy. I'm going to spend 2 hours watching that. And so I'm like, no, I don't need that. And I've actually, you know, I am friends with a lot of my fellow creators, and some of them who say they don't do negative stuff. And they say to me, like, sometimes people just want an escape, and that's fair. It's like, I don't need to hear everything like, oh, they're raising prices on Magic. Oh, this new set isn't very good. Oh, they didn't reprint the good cards. Oh, this sucks, you know. And it's like, yeah, I like to, I don't entirely do that, but I can see why maybe that it's a good thing that there are channels that are like, yeah, let's just talk about cool stuff, and that's cool. And you know, so I always, I don't ever think like, I'm never like, yeah, you should stick it to Wizards of the Coast, man. Stop being a bootlicker to Ultra Pro. Like, no, I don't. I'm just like, it's what I do. In all honesty, it's just more like I've got this niche for myself in being a critic. And so I have to be a critic. I often wonder, I don't know this, like, did the people who made movies like hate Roger Ebert? Because like he would like thumbs down movies. Like, did all the people in Hollywood loathe Roger Ebert? And
that definitely happened. Yeah.
Like, did he not get invited to the Oscars? Like how I don't get invited to magic events, and like I think about like I wonder about that, because like one of the things was somebody was giving me crap. I do a worst things to happen in magic every year, and I do best things to happen in magic every year, but I do 2 videos, the best of magic this year and the worst of magic this year. And somebody was like, this is just gross. All you're doing is chase. You claim you're this intellectual and this and that. And I went and I found out every year Roger Ebert did worst movies of the year, the movies I hated. I hated this movie. I'm like, well, geez, like what? Like, come on. You know, it's like, come on. Roger Ebert did it.
People on the internet, on TikTok, they call it the bean soup effect or something like that. It's like people are like, this isn't exactly what I want. What the fuck is wrong with you? And it's like, well, I wasn't making this only for you to be as happy as possible. But it's just, I mean, it's the internet's crazy. I don't know. But
I have noticed this.
I'm not so sure. I can't imagine that's true. But speaking of the internet being crazy and technology being crazy, I don't know how to segue this, but Kevin, can you segue it for me?
Yes. Let me see what I can do here. Hold on here. Okay. We are going to play a modified version of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. We're springing this on our guest here. He has no idea this is coming.
I'm part of this.
Yes.
I think it's going to be you. I can help you, but I think you're the contestant.
I was thinking you're going to be the lifeline, Spencer. So this is what we're going to do.
Is it about Magic the Gathering?
It is about your YouTube channel. All the questions are about you or your YouTube channel. But
are you serious or are you joking?
I am serious. However, we had ChatGPT write all of these questions and answers for you. And one thing that we've discovered is that at a certain difficulty level, it can't on its own make things any harder without just making things up.
ChatGPT thinks Josh Lee Kwai runs Tolarian Community College.
Well, see, this is exactly the thing. You might be faced with a question, who runs it, and you might have to answer that. Otherwise,
oh my God.
So you're answering about something you know a lot about. However, you also have to sort of figure out, okay, what would ChatGPT make up about me? And guess the correct answer here. Okay, does this kind of make sense?
This is hilarious, and I've gone from terrified to eager. I have gone from terrified to eager.
We only have 2 lifelines here.
All right.
So we're playing by Who Wants to Be on the Rules. You have 50-50, and you have Ask a Spencer. Okay.
So
at any point you can use those 2. We're only going to do, let's do 10 questions real quick.
All right, let's do it.
A real abbreviated version here. Okay, you ready? All right. The first couple are going to be true questions, just to get the hang of this. Okay. All right, let's see here.
Isn't this music great?
What?
Oh man, it's so loud.
I can't hear you.
Sorry.
All right. It was good, and then it went way loud. Go ahead, Kevin.
It is way quieter for me, which is making this a little bit complicated here.
Oh, yeah, okay.
All right, so easy questions here.
All right.
I gotta find the right file. All right. Question number 1. Who is the creator and host of the Tolarian Community College? Is it A, Brian Kibler, B, Brian Lewis, C, Brian Doyle Murray, or D, Brian Matthews?
ChatGPT, honest to God, told me it was Josh Lee Kwai, but I'm going to go with Brian Lewis.
That is correct. Brian Lewis, also known as the Professor, is the creator and host of the Tolarian Community College, where he shares his extensive knowledge and passion for Magic the Gathering.
Yeah.
All right.
Eat it, Brian Kibler, who is a dear friend. Well, I don't know about dear, but he's a friend. Well, I don't know. I like him.
Okay. Question number 2. Which of the following is a recurring theme in the Tolarian Community College videos? Is it A, movie reviews, B, deck building tips, C, let's plays, or D, travel diaries?
B, deck building tips.
That's correct.
Okay.
This channel frequently provides helpful deck building tips and strategies for Magic the Gathering, aiding players and enhancing their gameplay.
All right.
So now that you got the hang of this, let's kick up a notch here.
I just love these sounds so much. It's so funny to me.
Me too. Okay. So this is where we crank up the difficulty a little bit here, okay? In a special series, Tolarian Community College explored the history of Magic the Gathering through a fictional lens. What was the title of this series? Was it A, The Lost Sets, B, Magic, The Untold Story, C, The Tolarian Tales, or D, The Gathering Chronicles?
I never did any of those, and I never did that.
It is making this up completely.
Yes. Gosh, Tolarian Tales sounds really cool, but it's not. I never did any of those.
No.
Can I hear? Wait. Okay. What are they again?
A is The Lost Sets.
Uh-huh.
B is Magic, The Untold Story. C is The Tolarian Tales, or D is The Gathering Chronicles. So you have to guess at what ChatGPT just made up about you.
I think it thought it was B, though. I think it thought it was B.
Yeah, that's probably my guess too.
Yeah.
Okay, is that your final answer?
Yeah. Yeah? No? What?
No, I'm sorry. Your first instinct was right.
The Tolarian Tales?
Tolarian Tales was a fictional series that blended facts and creative storytelling to provide a unique perspective on the history and lore of Magic.
I never, ever did that. In fact, in my wide variety of topics that I cover on my channel, that has not been one of them.
Hey, great video idea.
Yeah. Hey, you're getting ideas. Okay.
Write that down.
Tolarian Tales.
Tolarian Tales. All right.
Next question.
Okay.
The professor once conducted a marathon live stream for charity.
Yep.
How long did this live stream last? Is it 12 hours, 24 hours, 36 hours, or 48 hours?
Okay, well, I don't stream, so I never did a live. I don't stream. I'm on YouTube. Everything's pre-recorded. I do a charity event every year for Trans Lifeline, which is a 2 to 3 day fundraiser that I'm using all of social media to fundraise. But it's not. But I don't use streaming because I don't stream. But I'm gonna say 48 hours just because it's the closest to what I really do. And also, I'm gonna say 48 hours.
All right, is that your final answer?
Sure. Nope.
Oh
no!
Was
sorry
it 24
again.
hours?
The 24-hour live stream is a significant event on the channel, raising funds for many charitable causes while engaging the Magic community.
No, I only raised for one. Okay, that's great. Yep. All right.
Yeah,
okay.
Man,
I've got my
48-hour live stream. That's too much. Yeah, Trans Lifeline. Check it out.
Yeah. We're going to be doing our next one in February. We do it every year. This year might be the year we hit 1 million cumulative raised, so we're very excited.
Wow.
Yeah. We're at 700 something right now, and so maybe we can do it this year because we usually get about 200. So check it out in February, but it's not on streaming.
Again, though, good idea. It's coming up.
Maybe it will be.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, all right, 3 more questions here before you possibly win $1 million. Okay.
All right.
Tolarian Community College once released a European exclusive limited edition set of Magic the Gathering cards in collaboration with Wizards of the Coast.
What a lawsuit that was. Oh my God, what a lawsuit.
What was the theme of this set? Was it A, famous landmarks, B, historical figures, C, educational institutions, or D, mythological creatures?
Well, I'm going with educational institutions. We did for Europeans only. For Europeans only, Wizards of the Coast said, we're going to work with Tolarian Community College this time. And what we want is a European-only Magic set of educational institutions.
Okay. Yeah, I love my Cambridge Commander deck.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
This limited edition set was centered around educational institutions, reflecting the channel's theme and offering unique and thematic cards for players. These cards include a card called Ivy Covered Halls. This is an enchantment card representing a prestigious academic institution providing a boost to knowledge and learning themed abilities or spells.
Oh, a boost to
Another
knowledge.
card called Tolarian Tutor, a nod to the channel itself and its creator. This creature card has an ability to help players search their library for specific cards. And Library of Lost Lore. This land card represents a vast archive of knowledge, providing mana and card draw abilities to represent the acquisition of wisdom.
You know, Library of Lost Lore was actually a nod to my Tolarian Tales series, where we explored the lost lore of Magic the Gathering. So, yeah.
Some cuts are so deep, they're fictional.
All right.
That's you could really, see
it.
like the limit of ChatGPT's capabilities. It's like, oh, it must have been a college themed magic set. Like, it's very, I don't know.
Okay. The professor has a signature catchphrase that he uses to conclude every video.
To conclude every video. All right.
What is this catchphrase? Is it A, keep it magical? B, class dismissed? C,
that's good. You could use that one.
Yeah.
Stay studious? Or D, until next time with finger snap?
I like class dismissed. I like class dismissed.
Okay, is that your final answer?
Well, let's not
Okay,
rule out the
wait.
professor's
We've only got
famous
two left.
catchphrase.
Let's. I wanna do the 50-50. If we've only got two left, then I'm gonna call Spencer on the last one. So
Okay.
like let's 50-50 it.
All right. It is either B, class dismissed, or C, stay studious.
Oh, that knocked out mine.
Yeah. Class dismissed. It's just like class dismissed. But I feel like I would snap my fingers. I'd be like, class dismissed.
You can throw that in.
Class
All right.
dismissed. Yo.
Correct. Class dismissed served as a memorable and thematic conclusion to the professor's videos, tying in with the educational theme of the channel.
I am going to end my next video by saying class dismissed and snapping fingers. I will do that.
Okay.
I love that. I just can't believe they it's not your famous catchphrase. See you next time. What a catchphrase that is.
You know, I invented that and now everybody stole it from me. Like you watch TV shows, news shows, and they're like, see you next time. And I'm like, man, you're ripping me off. Just ripping me off with that. See you next time. We came up with that.
Yeah, that was ours.
That was our thing.
Oh,
all right,
boy.
last question.
All right.
Here we go.
It's good.
Tolarian Community College once hosted a Magic the Gathering tournament with a unique twist. What was the special rule for this tournament? A, players could only use common rarity cards. B, players had to build decks from a single set. C, players were required to use decks built by other participants. Or D, the tournament was played in complete silence.
You were not allowed to talk. Class.
Wow.
Okay, I'm gonna call my good friend. My friend. Well, I like him, Spencer. I'm gonna call Spencer.
Let's call Spencer here.
I blacked out that event. There was a lot of partying over the success of our European set, and so I have no memory.
There's a lot going on here. Okay, Spencer, do you want to hear the choices again?
What? Hello?
Spencer?
Spencer, hello. It's me, the professor, Brian Kibler.
I can't hear you.
Brian Kibler.
Oh, Kibler, what's up? How's it going, man?
Yeah, I'm on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, which I think got canceled 10 or more years ago.
Oh, yeah, no problem. Wait, my cat's throwing up. Hold on. I'll call you back. Can you imagine? No, go ahead. What's the question?
My friend Kevin is going to tell you.
Okay.
My very good friend.
The Tolarian Community College once hosted a Magic the Gathering tournament with a unique twist. What was the special rule? Was it A, players should only use common cards? B, players had to build decks from a single set? C, players were required to use decks built by other participants, or D, the tournament was played in complete silence? Spencer, you have 20 seconds to give him your answer.
Well, my first thought is that I don't think it's A. I don't know. I don't know, man. This is tough. All of these seem feasible. C is really the one that's speaking to me. I don't know why. I also have a leaning
required to use
towards
decks
D.
built by other participants.
Yeah, the silence one. It's like oh, it was hosted in a library, so they couldn't talk. That sounds too crazy, though. I don't know. The C seems maybe like something, but I don't know. This one's tough. This is a tough one. I mean, this is $1 million question, as it were.
But I got like 2 of them wrong, so I think the game ended a while ago. So it's no pressure. I lost a while ago.
Well, usually if you get a question wrong, that means you have to take a drink of a beverage you don't very much like, is how we play. So.
Oh man.
Yeah, but we'll have to call you back and get you to drink something stanky. I don't know, but
Rice-A-Roni juice.
You'll love Rice-A-Roni juice, so I don't think that'll qualify. But I don't know. What are you thinking?
Well, I mean, I'm a big fan of the Pauper format, which is commons only. And so if I had there was recently this cool Magic event, you probably saw people tweeting about it on your timeline, called CubeCon, and I wasn't able to go, and I'm excited about like next year going to CubeCon, and I'm like, well, I'd bring my Pauper cube because I love Pauper and I love playing with commons only. So like if I had a tournament, it might be like a Pauper tournament. In fact, I've gotten it at when they did used to do GPs. I was a special guest at a couple of them, and I would host a Pauper event and stuff. So like if this were real, which it is not, it would be A, commons only. But that's why I think it's D, no talking.
So is D your final answer?
Well, what's you're supposed to, you answer it. I called you. I called you. I used my one phone call. Like, you're supposed to answer. You think
but I'm not going to win the money. At the end of the day, it's you're taking the risk, so you got to be good with it.
No, I trust, if there's one thing you know better than me, it's the history of Tolarian Community College. Because like I said, just blackout. So, sure, we'll say C as suggested by Spencer. Final answer.
Oh, man. Okay. I hope I'm right. This is a lot of pressure. Oh my God.
You got it right. So, in this unique and challenging tournament with a unique rule designed by the professor, players are required to swap and use decks built by other participants, testing their adaptability and skill with unfamiliar card combinations. This celebrated and game-changing inventive twist added an extra layer of complexity and excitement to the tournament.
Cool.
Wow.
That was a good one.
That was I don't know. We got to come up with a segment for this, or a segment name for this, but that's a task for another time.
Who wants to be a millionaire?
Yeah. I mean, we all do in a lot of ways,
Yeah.
But it's pretty funny. One thing our podcast tries to do is use ChatGPT in ways that are embarrassing for it and that we could ridicule it for, if that makes sense.
I love it. I think that is a hilarious bit.
Yeah, it's that's a second one we've done, and so far I think it's a real winner. Like we got to figure out.
That was really funny.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you liked it. Okay, so what else? I want to talk to you about food more, but I'm trying to think of if there's any really crucial food questions that I'm missing. Do you have a favorite food or a favorite restaurant in Portland? I mean,
I don't want to really say what my favorite restaurant is, because one time I was at breakfast and at a place I go to for breakfast, and a guy who was eating breakfast looked up and he recognized me, and he went over and he said, "No, this was fine." He just said, "Hey, I was waiting to be seated," and he said, "Hey, I don't want to disturb you. I hope this isn't like." I was like, "Oh no, hey, how's it going?" And he said, "Oh, I just want to say I'm a big fan. I love the channel." I said, "Thank you. This is no problem." And he said, "Can I get a picture with you?" I said, "Sure." Took a little picture. This is no problem. He was very excited, though, and he went to Reddit and he posted, "Guess who I met at breakfast today?" And he posted his picture with me. And everybody was just laughing because this is how I dress. And I was there at 10 in the morning dressed like this. And everyone in the comments was like, "I can't believe he dresses like that." But then someone goes, "I recognize that place." And they literally not only said where the place was, but they dropped a Google pin map thing where they're like, this is where that place is, where he eats breakfast. And luckily the Reddit moderators caught that and just shut the whole thread down, because then a lot of people who are local Portlanders were talking about where they had spotted me, and they're like, oh yeah, he actually works out at my gym. It's this location on this street where I see him every other weekday, and this, and well, not every other weekday, but occasionally throughout the month, and stuff. And so, no, to answer your question, Spencer, yes, I have a favorite restaurant. But I will take you to it the next time you come. Hey. How about that?
Well, what about home cooking?
Yeah,
of course. Yeah, I want to come back out a lot of times, very, very soon, very often. But yeah, what about home cooking? You got any like favorite home cooked meals that you favor or anything? Also, give us your address while you're at it.
Yeah. We've been doing smoked pork belly, and that's really good. And then we do like our own little home. What a wonderful thread to the beginning of the thing. We do our home ramen, where we'll make like some ramen, and then we'll have like some kimchi, and we'll have a soft boiled egg, and we'll make like our own little thing with the pork belly is the main center of the dish though, and it's just kind of like a little bowl with like, you got the ramen and the pork belly and the kimchi and a little bit of rice, not Rice-A-Roni, sorry, and we do some fried tofu, and it's a really great. It was our attempt where my wife and I had a conversation about like trying to do new meals, and that were not a lot of work, because we would do some things that's like, oh God, what a mess. We did all this, and now we're going to spend 8 hours scrubbing, all these pans, and way too much. And we found that this is really easy. The biggest thing is just smoking the pork belly, and that isn't that does not create that much mess, and then the rest is just things you can do on the stovetop pretty quick, and so it does not have a big cleanup, and you feel really fancy eating it, because it's like, ooh, it's like I went out to my fancy little place, but I'm at home.
Yeah, man, I've been obsessed with pork belly lately, and I love pork belly. I haven't had it until very recently, and so I'm making up for lost time. And boy, howdy,
come back out. We'll give you a home cooked pork belly.
Yeah, man, I'd love to. Yeah. That sounds super awesome. So we are almost out of time, but I think we might have time for one segment that we like to do whenever we have guests. Kevin, I don't know if you have the music queued up or anything for this, but we like to have a segment called "What's Kevin's Deal?"
Oh no,
you got it. Oh no, Kevin doesn't.
Kevin's deal is not having music queued up. I've only just. Oh, look at that! Wow, well, I don't know Kevin very well.
You beat me to that. I was going to make that exact joke, but hey, And that was Kevin's deal. Okay, so What's Kevin's Deal is a segment where we try to get to the bottom of Kevin, who I said before is the most interesting man in the world. He's an international man of mystery, and it's hard to pin him down. So we basically just take turns, and I guess we only have time. This segment only works like for one or two guesses before I get stale. But we ask him if it's kind of like Jeopardy, where in the form of a question, we ask him if his deal is such and such. So I will go first just to model the game for you and give you a little bit of time to come up with a guess based on what you know about Kevin so far. Kevin, is your deal that you like to post people's locations of their various haunts on Reddit?
No, I'm actually kind of a privacy nut about things like that. So no, I would be like one of the moderators deleting that, I think.
Yeah, that's reasonable.
Like from Harmontown, the number of times Dan accidentally doxed himself on the show.
Yeah. So that's basically how the game is played. We and Kevin likes to help, so he gave us a little. It wasn't like a flat no. He actually gave us some info that might feed into what you might be able to surmise or guess. So you come up with anything?
Kevin, is Rice-A-Roni your deal?
Actually, no. I do like the ready rice though. If you had those, like it's a little pouch in the microwave for 90 seconds.
No,
and
just
then
make your own rice. Rice is not a difficult dish to make.
No, I know, but like if I'm working or something and I'm just like, I just need a snack right now, but I don't want to eat tortilla chips or something, I'll throw one of those in and just throw some cheese on it and eat that. But no, I can't remember when the last time was I had Rice-A-Roni.
Okay, Kevin, you gotta, your wife's been cooking lately. I'm sure there's something that could have Rice-A-Roni on the side. You gotta get some fried Rice-A-Roni and try it out and let me know what you think.
I will, and then we can review it. Yeah,
that would be great.
I'm up for that.
And you too, you said you were making ramen and had some rice on the side. Fried Rice-A-Roni.
I'm not gonna lie to you, Spencer. I'm probably gonna go the rest of my life without eating Rice-A-Roni. I'm sorry.
If I come over, I'm gonna bring Rice-A-Roni.
You don't need to bring it.
Somebody's house and eating it.
We have it in the city. I just like in our supermarkets. I don't want to eat rice. I don't. It doesn't speak to me. It does not spark joy. I don't know. I'm sorry. Now I feel like a jerk. It just got really quiet on this comedy show.
Well, I'm just what do you call it? Thunderstruck that someone could because it tastes like rice. Anyway, that's our show, everybody. Okay, so we haven't really talked about it, but we had a really, really great episode of Shuffle Up and Play that's going to be out. If you're watching this live, it's going to be out tomorrow. If you're watching this on the podcast feed or whatever, it's already out. So Tolarian Community College is the YouTube channel. You know this. I'm not as big as this guy. If you know me, you know the professor.
You are way bigger than me.
That's not true.
You've been on television. Well, cable.
Cable. Well, not even cable, like Yahoo Screen or something like. I don't know. But seriously, you got to check out that episode. It's me, Aaron Hansen, and Talia Vess playing Budget Commander decks. It was a lot of fun. Man, it was so fun. It was so fun that after we finished, I was like, we should just shoot another one. Like, why? Let's just keep it going.
Well, let's do that. Let's come back out. We'll shoot 2.
Yeah, I'll stack up as many as you want, man.
Yeah.
No, it was really fun. It was great production. You're really professional, and everything was really well done. Do you have anything? Do you want to plug that more, or do you want to plug anything else?
That's it. Just watch that. That'd be if you love Spencer and you want to see him play Magic the Gathering. The Tolarian Community College YouTube channel tomorrow at 10 a.m. It's premiering, and it's there forever. Doesn't go away. You could watch it this Wednesday. It's fine. You could watch it 2 years from today, but I'd love it if you watched it, tomorrow on the YouTube channel. And you can watch Spencer play Magic with Aaron Hansen of Game Grumps and me and Talia Vess. And we have a lot of fun and we tell a lot of jokes and we get into an argument over what constitutes a bookcase.
That got pretty heated. No spoilers,
because the answer might surprise you.
It was a really goofy episode. I think anyone will love it. Even if you're not super into Magic, I think you'll love it. But if you are into Magic, boy. What about me? Patreon.com/thesixler. I'm working on this module I talked about last week. So if you want to see live updates of the module as I finish it, and if you want to get access to the module for free, well, not for free because you have to sub. But if you want to get that module before anyone else, check me out there. Or if you just want to give me money, that's the main reason to join the Patreon. Is if you're just like, man, Spencer doesn't have enough money, but don't worry about it. If you don't want to give me money, it's fine. I don't care. I don't need you. What about you, Kevin? What do you
bitter fast?
Just watch Schwab Home Video on Sunday. Watch other stuff I do live. Join Spencer's Patreon to make him happy, and check us out on wherever you want to watch us.
If you don't join Spencer's Patreon, he gets really angry.
No, I don't need any of you.
He takes that on me, guys. Please.
Oh yeah, no, that's true. That's a good point. If you like Kevin and you don't want to see him in multiple pieces strewn across his lawn, give me money. But also, if you want to be on the credits, give me money, because I think we're gonna start putting people in the credits or some shit. I don't know. Who knows? I'll talk about that more later. We're out of time. But until next time, we like to end the show the same way. So thanks to Brian Lewis, the professor. Thanks to Kevin Day. And until next time, class dismissed.
Finger snap.
That's my bit. You stole my bit.